Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Wicked Wednesday has begun. We are just hours away from tee-off the Open Championship. Let's do this thing. We're going to be breaking it down. We've got a ton of golf picks for you on the program this evening, the final major of the golf calendar season, although we do have the Ryder Cup still around the corner, and that's become a rather hostile, interesting event, as we discussed on last night's program. So this is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. Brady Cannon will step up and in from Las Vegas, one of the best golf cappers in the business. We'll get his thoughts on the Open Championship. Kiev O'Neill will throw it down with us. We break it down from Arizona, UFC 318, as the UFC comes out as fast and furious with a weekly card. And, of course, Donald Trump said a couple of weeks ago that he wants to have a card at the White House. And tonight is the ESPY. Shane Gillis is the host this evening. And Shane Gillis correctly stated the last time Donald Trump staged a fight at the White House, Mike Pence nearly got killed. Will Mike Pence be on the undercard? John Jones wants to be on the card at the White House, but I think John Jones thinks the White House means the house is made out of cocaine. See, I should have been part of the SB writers. I think Gillis would have liked that one. I would have said, listen, we got to get a John Jones White House cocaine. He thinks he can snort the house. There's a lot of different ways we can go with it. I thought they left that one on the table. This evening at the ESPYs. Now, I don't watch award shows, like literally. I don't watch any award shows. I really don't care. And, so maybe if I was nominated, I would watch it, right? Maybe I'm just bitter. Since I'm not part of it, screw you. Right? But all kidding aside, like whatever, man. I had like 10 MLS bets going on in the early slate tonight, so I wasn't worried about the ESPYs, but we are seeing the videos and the jokes that are being posted, and I see that Caitlin Clark as well tonight was voted, and she won the ESPY for WNBA Player of the Year. Yeah, there's no privilege here at all, right? She's ranked 15th in the league in scoring. like literally and figuratively. And people online are, yeah, but you know what? She's popular. There's a big difference between being the best and being popular, all right? Justin Bieber sold more records in a week than the Beatles did, all right? Good for him. Doesn't mean he's better than the Beatles, all right? It means we live in a new era right now where it's easier to sell music, right? Like, most popular. There's a big difference, right? Like, hell, I'm not even a WNBA player, but if I was, like, I'd want to smack her too at this point. I'd be like, this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, she's the player of the year in the WNBA. Like, she hasn't won a playoff series. she didn't win a playoff series. Did she win a playoff? Like, they win a couple of games in the playoffs? Type of deal. I think they squeezed in the playoffs. And it's not an insult to say she's not one of the best players in the league yet, right? She's in her second year, man, right? She will be one of the best players in the league, and she'll be the face of the league for the next 10 years. Fine. But it doesn't mean she's the best player in the league. There's a big difference. Right? Are the Dallas Cowboys the best team in the NFL? No. They're the face of the league with the media every damn day, aren't they? Are the Lakers the best team? No, but people talk about them all the damn time. So like, there's a difference between being the most popular and being the actual best. Although I will say that Shane Gillis did have an absolutely killer joke about Caitlin Clark tonight. That was full out like awesome. As Shane Gillis said, when Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to go work at a Waffle House so she can do what she loves most, fist fighting black women. All right. Looks like the ESPYs were a little bit edgier tonight. I got to tell you, this Shane Gillis guy, he's going to become one of the most popular comedians out there just because everybody else sucks so much, right? Right? Like, so, this guy actually doesn't suck, so he seems pretty damn good. But it looks like he had some pretty good jokes tonight, although he did drop one about Karl Anthony Towns. And he said, I understand Karl Anthony Towns in the building. He said, what's up, girl? If I'm Karl Anthony Towns, I probably would have pulled a Will Smith and went up on the stage and bitch slapped him, to be honest with you. Or at least, like, backstage, scared the hell out of him, like a professional wrestler. Like, yeah, Shane Gillis is funny and stuff, but you're not like, if Karl Anthony Towns got in your face for real, you wouldn't think it was so funny anymore. And I would have went like, old school David Schultz on him, like with John Stossel. Oh, you think I'm a bitch, huh? And I just slapped him across the face. Probably would have been not a good idea. I'm just saying that's what I would have done, but I'm not stating that, I'm full of great ideas or anything like that, but I wouldn't have let that go. Like I would have been like in Gillis's face about this after. It's one thing to, a joke, a little fat joke or whatever, a little soft joke, this, okay. But, when you say, hey, what's up, girl, that to me is like worthy of getting sucker punched in the back of the head and say, you like that, girl? I'm just saying. That's just me. But as I stated, I think differently than some people do. I wouldn't say, I mean, like this guy just like trolled me on the SP. He's not getting away with this. Like, I would definitely get him. All right, so speaking of trying to get him, we're trying to get the book tonight. It's an MLS night tonight. Listen, when we open up talking about the ESPYs, it's one of those nights tonight. We've got a couple of games in the WNBA, but whatever. We did bet on the Toronto Raptors to win the NBA Summer League championship at plus 350 earlier in the day. We saw the number. We pounced on it. In fact, we got a better number because it was like plus 275, plus 280 in some other spots. So, we didn't get the best value because we could have bet them before the damn tournament started. But nevertheless, so you got NBA Summer League action going on. But as far as games that really matter, we do have MLS soccer going on. And the season is rolling on. These games are starting to count right now for real, even though the season's drawn on for freaking ever. But the games are starting to count for real. And it's been a wild, strange night in MLS tonight. The Vancouver Whitecaps started off as like the best team in the league. Now they're like 9th in the league. They're slipping. They're losing players to injury. They're losing players. They're selling players. Like, they're all over the place, this team. But, oh, yeah, by the way, they're winning 3-0 right now. Right? Like, the Whitecaps are a very strange team where when it looks like they're doomed and they're not going to win, they don't have enough bodies, they'll win. And then other times, like, oh, yeah, look, they actually have some guys back. Then they don't win. Like, they're all over the place. But they're winning. They're big underdogs tonight, too. They're winning 3-0 against the Houston Dynamo, but whatever. All right, so LAFC, we're on them, but let's move on. And we had the over 2.5 as well. LAFC beating Minnesota United right now in the 68th minute. I didn't get my bet in on that game, so I might be fortunate. Nashville and Columbus. We need another goal here. We got over 2.5, and we're at 2-0 right now. Nashville up on the Crew 2-0 in the 70th minute. We'd like another goal here. Seattle Sounders and the Colorado Rapids going off the board in a couple of minutes. 5 minutes, 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 Pacific. This game is at Lumen in Seattle. Remember, we talked a lot about the FIFA Club World Cup, and Seattle had an extremely difficult slate in that tournament. They had Atletico Madrid, they had PSG, they had Botafogo, who are the Brazilian League champions. It wasn't an easy 3 games for them. Since they've come back and played against MLS teams, they've gotten 7 of a possible 9 points. I think Seattle are trending upwards right now. I like the Seattle Sounders to get it done tonight. There should be goals in this match as well. Let's go over the 2.5. With the Sounders and the Rapids. So we got a full slate of MLS this evening. And that's the first game up. LA Galaxy and Austin FC coming up at 10:30 Eastern.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pits, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bus, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. So we got a full slate of MLS tonight. All right, it's a night off, day after the All-Star game, and the swing off last night. It was pretty cool, and we had a good time breaking it down last night. But tonight, MLS takes center stage with the live action, and There's actually a ton of late games. And, of course, we tee off in a couple hours as well because we're in Ireland. So let's hope that Connor doesn't find a way to send us any junk pictures. No, is Conor McGregor going to find a way to get involved here? He's going to punch someone on the face?
I told you to bet Rory McIlroy.
He's going to punch Rory?
Yes, exactly.
He's like, yeah, but like Conor McGregor allegedly sending pictures of his junk to that rapper, Azealia Banks. And he told her, you better not tell anyone I did this. And, of course, she went right online and goes, you believe this guy sends me pictures of his junk and then threatens me and tells me I'm in trouble if I expose him? So she exposed him. So I got a kick out of that. And so as we were saying earlier, like John Jones wants to fight at the White House. And I said earlier, Cam, I think John thinks the White House is made out of cocaine and he can snort it.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize it's dude, it's not a strip club. It's not the strip club, the White House, John. It's not a cocaine house. It's not a crack den.
He probably likes the White Album.
Where's that White
right?
House? Yeah, it just sounds amazing.
Yeah, John Jones wants to fight at the White House. I saw coming out of it. I'm like, guy thinks it's made of cocaine. Yeah. Brady Cannon in the house. Good to see you, Brady.
Hey, Brady.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Gabe Stewart.
Congratulations again, Gabe. Happy for you. Saw that big story, of course, in your life last weekend. Welcome to the club, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brady. I guess it can only, we'll see where it goes from here. But I know what I got myself into. So wasn't a shotgun wedding like 24 hours later or something like that. So quickly, as far as MLS, before we get to the golf, I'm on the Seattle Sounders, minus 154. Colorado have scored 9 goals in their last 5 matches, but the total's up to minus 200 right now. It was minus 188. I do think it goes over to 2.5, but I think Seattle will probably win this game like 2-1. So give me the Seattle Sounders, minus 154. LA Galaxy, we talked about them a couple of weeks ago. They're the worst team in the league. They're showing a little bit of a fight right now, actually. And this team won the championship too, right? Like, so, but then they were just a complete disaster. Like, they're embarrassing. Like, people are throwing things at them essentially, but they've been somewhat more respectable as of late. It's one of those deals, like, they're favored for a reason. It's one of those, like, how the hell can the Galaxy be minus 120 favorites against Austin FC? We said the same thing a couple of weeks ago. How the hell could the Galaxy be favored against the Whitecaps? Galaxy beat them like 3-0. So I think the odds makers are onto something here. The Galaxy are minus 120. We're going to play the number on this one. Give me the Galaxy to beat Austin FC minus 120. I'm playing the number on this one. I don't understand, like, unless everybody on Portland's high on heroin on Main Street or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing here. Like, are they missing about, like, they're plus 125 on their home field. They're not great, but I don't think Real Salt Lake are great either. They're both kind of like average teams. And Portland are plus 125 on their home pitch. This one could be a draw, plus 275, guys. Then you got San Diego FC hosting TFC, Cam's team. TFC, they're terrible. Terrible football club. That's what it stands for.
They are awful. Terrible
TFC.
Football club. Yeah,
Terrible
so
football
true.
club.
They're awful. They're so
Hey, you know
bad.
what, Brady? It sets up too nicely when they're bad, like terrible football club. When your name's
Football club.
TFC, like, you just walk right into it. Like,
Yeah,
and when
exactly.
you're good, they won the title a couple of years. It was like terrific football club.
Football club.
Hey,
Yeah.
TFC, terrific. Now it's
tell
like
me,
terrible
Gabe,
football club.
You know more about this stuff than I do. How's the San Diego team? Because that's a brand new team. They are owned by the Sequan Casino, I believe.
They're really good.
Are they?
They're
Okay.
really good.
So it's
And
kind of like
there's-
the Golden Knights. All of a sudden, an expansion squad, good out of the gate.
Yeah, bro, they're the 3rd best team in MLS.
Wow.
Yeah, literally.
Good for them.
And in
San
fact,
Diego
they're riding,
needs a good team.
Yeah, they're riding a 4-game win streak right now. They've won 5 of their last 6, and in fact, they've won 8 of their last 9 with 1 draw mixed in there. They're on a roll. And they beat teams up, too. Like, they beat Vancouver 5-3. I saw that. They beat Dallas 3-2. They beat Minnesota 4-2. You get the gist of it. They score goals. TFC are in trouble tonight. I think the suggestion here, guys, is I'm already on San Diego to close out a parlay, but let's go San Diego minus 1.5 at plus 110. And then finally in closing, a D-Gen special, the San Jose Earthquakes against FC Dallas. This one, I think there's goals too. Let's go over to 2.5 here with San Jose and FC Dallas. And I think San Jose probably win, but I can't justifiably lay minus 175 with a team as shaky as the Earthquakes are. All right. So there's
no pun intended.
No, I'm just on fire tonight. We're rolling through here. Exactly.
Shaky Earthquakes team.
Shaky. They are shaky. Very shaky.
It writes itself. Okay, I'll put it this way, Brady.
Yeah.
The owner of the San Jose Earthquakes is John Fisher.
Yes,
that's all you need to know about this team. I'm not betting on that team. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear you.
They're minus 175.
He doesn't spend any money on them either, but suddenly they're actually not bad.
Like Vegas, though, they have actually broken ground, and I know somebody very close to me that got the contract to drill the holes in the ground. So
that's pretty good.
Apparently, this thing is going to happen.
People have dug holes in Vegas before, Brady. And
that's true, and not necessarily for buildings.
I'm just saying, like there's a lot of graves, but like I saw in Montreal, bro, same thing. They put a shovel in the ground. The mayor was there. They all shook hands and stuff. No stadium, still new stadium.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think it'll work. It'll eventually work. But he's already talking. Oh yeah, we're about $500 million over budget already, and where's this going to come from? So it's only going to increase. I said last week, Brady, he just bought a place for $29 million in Vegas. It's more than he pays any of his players.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last 2 majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, put another winner on the board. We were waiting for another goal in the Nashville game with the Crew, and we get it. Boom! They get to 3. There it is, baby. All right, so game by game, they're coming in here. We had a lot of MLS action here tonight. We got a lot more still to come. We'll just rattle it off. San Diego minus 1.5. We're on the Seattle Sounders to win the game. And we're on over 2.5. Actually, I got minus 188. I bet it earlier. San Diego and TFC. Portland Timbers, not Trailblazers, Timbers plus 125 and the LA Galaxy -118. All right, so I've been looking forward to getting some open golf talk going here. See what Brady and Camp like in this tournament. Brady, I'll start with you. Thought it was very interesting, actually, with Scottie Scheffler. I don't know if you saw his in-depth comments at the press conference. Very similar to Aaron Rodgers, actually. Something that I saw Aaron Rodgers say once. Aaron Rodgers talked about winning the Super Bowl. I saw him saying that they won the Super Bowl, and he said it was euphoric, right? He said, he got the trophy and the confetti, and he was in the locker room after, and it was like this euphoric type of feeling. And he said, as they were pulling out, leaving the stadium on the team bus, it was already a letdown. And Rodgers said he actually got really depressed suddenly. And he said, wow, I sacrificed all of that in my life, and this is it. That's what he said. He goes, it was all right, but he goes, basically when I was on the team bus after, it was over. And he goes, man, and I thought back of everything, and he goes, I actually wondered if it was worth it. And he goes, sometimes I wonder, like, if it's actually worth, like, what the sacrifice that I made in my life to win. And Scheffler basically said the same thing. He goes, don't get it wrong, guys. I dreamed of just winning a PGA event, let alone majors and stuff. But he goes, honestly, he goes, like, an hour after they're over, he goes, I'm just thinking about going to dinner. Like, and what am I going to eat? And he goes, it's kind of a letdown. And then he went down the same road, didn't he, Brady, about put a lot of work into this. And it's kind of like, and he goes, sometimes I wish I was just a regular person. Like, interesting concept coming into this. And I liked his honesty, but I wouldn't want to bet on him coming into this. He's getting too deep into his own head right now, I think.
Seems to just, I'm not sure what he's thinking. And I love the fact that Rory won the Masters this year, but it's almost like that has gone, kind of turned his priorities around.
Gone to his head.
I don't know if he knows which direction he's going. Yeah, I love Scottie's brutal honesty. And I don't think he was saying that none of this matters. I think he was saying that there are more important things in life, like his family and his son and his wife. And I couldn't agree more, but I'll tell you what, and Cam, you know this too, I think. Once that guy hits the first tee tonight in a few hours, whatever it is, he's a cold-blooded killer. I think he's competitive as all get out, man. And when
I'm not saying he's done.
Yeah. No,
but number one for the value.
The ropes, look out. But
no, I like his cerebralism. I like his cerebralism,
and
right?
And he's relatable. He felt very human to me, saying, gosh, you work so hard, you win, and it's fun, and then I get it. You're like, okay, now what do we do? What's next? What am I supposed? Do I have to mow the lawn? What's for dinner? Life gets in front of everything you're doing, and I will say
that's why people don't resonate towards them, though. Like you said, like the common man can sort of resonate with that, but like that's like Tiger Woods wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tiger Woods like win, right? Like, and that's all that matters.
Tiger was a robot. I think
Tiger was a robot
like
created. Yes, Tiger Woods with Earl and his Navy background and the way he brought up, win, Tiger, win, kill kids in amateur, whatever. Scottie Scheffler did it in a different path, but he has a quiet killer instinct, Gabe. And when he talks like this, he's actually.
I'm not criticizing him.
No, I know. I understand where you're coming from, and I look at it like a whole cerebral, like he's basically saying, listen, I got my faith, I got my family, and I got other stuff than golf. Don't tell me, though, I'm going to go out there and kick your ass in a golf tournament. And the thing about Scottie Scheffler is he does it quietly, but carries a big stick. And Brady knows this, too. When he's talking like this and everyone's like, whatever, I fear him even more. And he played like junk last week, and he still finished 8th.
So are either of you taking him to win?
To top 5 and top 10. I wish I got more. Yeah, in a match.
That's not taking them to win.
Yeah, Cam got it.
You know me, Gabe, I'm greedy.
For all the talk, neither of you are betting on him.
I'm a greedy golf gambler.
Wait a minute.
I want more.
Wait a minute. I don't think he's going to win. I do think he's going to finish top 10. I did bet him in a head-to-head matchup over Rory.
Ding dong. Agree.
Oh, yeah. Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA. Understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland. Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, this is SportsRage. Let's get to the Open. Brady Cannon in the house, Cam Stewart with me. I'm Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. All right, so I was saying, all right, you guys, and I get it. The odds are low for Scotty Scheffler. He's plus 550. I see in the plus 550 range. Rory is extremely low as well at plus 750. And we were talking about Scheffler, very cerebral. Doesn't overthink things on the course. Like, his life, he doesn't play like life and death like some guys put too much pressure on themselves. And interestingly enough, I saw comments from Nick Faldo talking about Tommy Fleetwood. And maybe this is the comments, Brady, that helps push Fleetwood over the top. If something can, ring a bell with him type of deal. But Faldo said, quite frankly, I don't know, if he has what it takes to win a major. He basically called him out. He said he's just not mentally tough enough on the back nine. He said, from the 15th on, you got to be mentally tough. And he talked about directional shots. He said Fleetwood's not great at just putting the ball anywhere he wants. And he goes, in majors, you got to be able to put the ball where you want. And he goes, Fleetwood's not good at it. But he basically called out Fleetwood's mental toughness in these spots, Brady. And I'm almost buying in here. I want to be at the party when he finally wins. And I haven't been, he hasn't stood me up at the dance like he has so many people over the years. I haven't bet on him that much over the years. Is it crazy to think that Tommy Fleetwood can get over the top here and win this tournament?
Maybe in the whole country, circus sports out here in Las Vegas. Tommy's been beaten up, and the wise guys have been beating up Tommy, I want to say, for the last couple of months, and they must be feeling that something's going to happen here pretty soon. It almost did at the Travelers. He's having a fantastic year. I mean, the guys, I think, finished top 20 just about every week, except for maybe a couple. And yeah, his first win, on the quote unquote PGA Tour may come across the pond, which would be ironic. I don't necessarily disagree with Faldo, though. Now, the other side of that is Tommy's won a dozen times all over the world. So he has won, and he's won big events, and he's held off Rory McIlroy down the stretch in Abu Dhabi and that type of thing. So he's won on a big stage.
I do disagree, though, Brady. Nick Taylor beat him with an 80-foot putt to win the Canadian Open.
Right?
Other guys have got on heaters. So is it Tommy Fleetwood gagging, or is it other people bringing their best?
He gagged a little bit at the Travelers.
Yes. But Keegan Bradley also played well. Golf is very hard, as we know, and it's hard to win. But I understand Sir Nick saying, this about Fleetwood, but other guys have also brought their A game to him. You know what I mean?
You call him Sir?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what he hates to call him. It's Sir Nick, eh? He's flying around in his helicopter. I like Nick Phelps, don't get me wrong. But you know what? I'm also going to defend Tommy Fleetwood as a world-class player and a good guy. And you know what? And I think he takes a lot of flack, and it's undeserved. That's it. I'm with you, Gabe. Now you got me fired up, Gabe. I want to bet Fleetwood.
But like I said, Gabe, I don't think you're crazy to lay a bet on him at all.
That's my guy, Sir Nick. I won a bet with him on the Masters 25 years ago.
Because he won you money. It's like, hey, Nick, can I fly in your helicopter? Yeah, no, that's Sir Nick's doing commercials for like golf trips and helicopters.
I like Nick Faldo's surliness.
That's my tea time.
He is surly. Yeah, it's nice.
By the way, Fleetwood, I did play. You'll like this, Cam. I played Tommy Fleetwood for first round leader. He's gotten off the hot starts here before in the Open. Bet him at 40 to 1. I'll give you my first round leader plays. Tommy Fleetwood, Aaron Rye, Thorbjorn Olesen, Matty Schmid, and Mackenzie Hughes from the Great White North.
Wow. Thorbjorn Olesen, too.
So those are your first round leaders. We'll get to your matchup picks in a couple of minutes. As far as your portfolio of winners, Brady, who are the golfers that you think can win, what is it, the 153rd edition of the Open Championship? Indeed. Who do you like?
I won't go into big explanation here, but I started with John Rahm at 14 to 1, Tyrrell Hatton at 30 to 1, Robert McIntyre at 36 to 1, Jordan Spieth, I got a bad number. I love Jordan Spieth this week, but I got him at 50. Russell Henley at 65. Jason Day at 80 to 1. Ryan Fox at 85 to 1. And then the long bomb of the week, Mackenzie Hughes at 400 to 1. I think the price is off. I mean, you guys know Mackenzie Hughes is a darn good golfer.
There's a correlation. He's from the same place as Babano and SGA. Remember, SGA won a championship. Think about the area game, Hamilton and Dundas. Mackenzie Hughes.
Well, Hamilton was designed by Harry Colt and Martin Ebert, the same guys that designed Portrush.
You're right.
And Mackenzie Hughes has done tremendous on that course. He finished 6th at Royal St. George's. He was 16th last year at Royal Troon. I mean, maybe the guy should be 275 to 1, but 400?
I'll buy you a bottle of your choice if Mackenzie Hughes wins the Open Championship. You got like Johnny Walker.
I'll buy a case of it if he wins, for God's sake, to 400 to 1.
400 to 1. Yeah, you'll buy me and Gabe a vacation. Yeah, that's amazing.
I also played him at top 40 finish at plus 240. And like I say, I played him at first round leader at 150 to 1 as well. He's a shot in the dark, but I think he's a much shorter price than 400 to 1 to do. I think he's going to make some noise. He'll make the cut. And if he makes the cut, he's got a great chance to finish top 40.
So as far as John Rahm is concerned, he's the lowest price guy that you're playing. He's played well on the LIV Tour. He's kind of been a forgotten man in these major championships, right? You know, like we keep waiting for him to break through. Why do you think this is the week that he breaks through? Because of the current form, the links course, etc. Is it just sort of a perfect storm you feel here?
Absolutely. The links chops. I mean, the guy has it out the wazoo. He's won the Irish Open twice. The last 4 British Opens, he's finished top 7 3 times. He was runner-up at Royal Liverpool, which is another course designed by Harry Colt and a redesign by Martin Ebert, exactly the same duo that we have here at Portrush and Hamilton. What I mentioned, where they held the Canadian Open in 2019 and 2024. Rahm was absolutely brilliant at the U.S. Open at Oakmont. He just couldn't make a putt. He was maybe the very best player in the field from tee to green. He ranked 4th in strokes gained tee to green. He just couldn't hold a putt. He was awful with the putter. Finally, on Sunday, when he started to putt well, he shot 67 and finished 7th. I think he's the second best player in the world to Scheffler. And he's probably a better links player than Scheffler. So you could argue he's the very best player in the field this week.
And speaking of great links players, Jordan Spieth is a great links player, and the numbers speak for themselves, guys. In 11 appearances at the Open, he's never missed a cut. He's got 5 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and a win, a Claret Jug in 2017. And what I find interesting, too, even over the years, guys, where Spieth has struggled at other places, almost like some of these Masters winners that show up at the Masters and they're going to play well no matter what. He just plays well no matter what, like when he goes to the Open. Like he just throws top 20s and top 25s on the board, even on down years. So I am intrigued by Jordan Spieth this year. Really like the top 20 for Spieth, guys. Plus 210 range.
Good bet.
Ties included, plus 240 not included. I did the ties included at plus 210, but I'm big on Spieth this week as well, and I think he's going to be in a mix. Like maybe it's wishful thinking because he's one of the players I actually do like, but I get the feeling that Jordan Spieth is going to be in a mix on Sunday this weekend.
It's in his DNA, Gabe. And want to know what Brady knows too? And this is the beautiful thing about links golf. It's the creative mind. It's not a linear thinker. And Jordan Spieth, he likes to do things and he sees hills.
He's an artist.
How to back up the ball and stuff. Yeah, he's basically an artist who plays golf, and that's who does well at links golf. Guys who are just straight thinkers. You have to have a brain outside of it, paint the picture, see hill, then go down. There's so many different ways to get to the hole. Creative golfers do really, really well in links golf. And Jordan Spieth, sometimes I think regular golf bores him. In links golf, he has more shots in the bag, and I think it's very good for him. I love the pick at top 20.
Magic hands too. Great short game. He can scrabble out of a garbage can. I'm with you, Gabe. I bet him against. I bet a head-to-head matchup. Jordan Spieth minus 135 over Justin Rose, who he might do good this week too. But I think Spieth has a chance to win.
If you want a good golf trivia question, what golfer has made $30 million on the tour in his career without ever winning? Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We're talking the Open Championship, and we'll ask Brady about the most bet players. And I can tell you, I see here Scotty Scheffler, the most backed golfer at ESPN Bet and ScoreBet. So he's the most played player. Rory McIlroy and John Rahm have garnered the most bets after Scheffler. McIlroy has attracted 15% of the action of all bets and 14% of the handle. Rahm has received 12% of the bets and 15% of the handle. Tommy Fleetwood and Victor Hovland round out the top 5, both getting 9% of the bets. Is this pretty much on par with what's going on in Vegas right now, Brady, with the liabilities here? So it sounds like a lot of people are going to be on Jon Rahm, and a lot of people are on Tommy Fleetwood, and we didn't even bring up Victor Hovland's name.
Yeah, Hovland is the one name that I'm not really seeing on my chart, and I'm looking at BetMGM here, and this is national. This is not just Las Vegas BetMGM stores, but all over the country, and very similar to what you were talking about there as far as ticket count. Scotty Scheffler, number 1, Rory McIlroy, number 2, Jon Rahm, number 3, and it's exactly the same for money. Scotty Scheffler, number 1 in money, Rory, number 2, Jon Rahm, number 3. Now, the biggest liabilities is a little bit different. Rory is number 1 at BetMGM for the biggest liability. Number 2 is Bryson DeChambeau, who, by the way, I bet at plus 350 to miss the cut. And then the third biggest liability is Jon Rahm. I've got some numbers on first-round leader as well. Highest ticket count for first-round leader. Number 1, Nicolai Højgaard. Number 2, Justin Rose. Number 3, Rory McIlroy. Biggest
Justin
liabilities.
Rose,
yeah.
They're mixed. Number 1? That's
I know,
nuts.
isn't that weird?
He
And
never
Justin
gets any
Rose
respect,
always is
Rose.
the
I saw his
first-round
big
leader at the
number.
Masters.
I saw his big number
I like
again. I'm like,
Nicolai
yeah.
Højgaard.
What
I
about
like him better than his
Justin
brother,
Rose?
especially this week?
Justin Rose
Well,
can
Rose-
win this tournament. He's finished
He
runner-up
could.
multiple
Had a
times.
great week.
He's good.
Had a great week last week at the Scottish Open. He's number 2 in ticket count for first-round leader. McIlroy number 3. Biggest liabilities for first-round leader at BetMGM. Nicolai Højgaard number 1. Justin Rose number 3. Nick Taylor, the Canadian, number 2.
Wow.
How about
Yeah.
this? At ESPN Bet, Tommy Fleetwood to make the cut, minus 500, is the 4th most bet of any available market play.
What?
That's an
What is
expensive
happening
ticket.
here?
People are
Minus
crazy. You're
500.
modern bettors. No
Who
wonder
are
these
these
books are
people?
making money, huh?
Yeah,
4th
what are they
most
doing?
bet, minus 500.
Playing with daddy's
That's Scotty
savings.
Scheffler
You
like
can't lay
pricing.
that.
Yeah,
Minus
Fleetwood
500?
to make the cut, minus 500, received the 4th most bets of any available market
Wow.
at ESPN Bet. He missed it in last year's Open, ending a streak of 6 straight cuts. All right, how about this? Despite this, your guy, Cam, in this tournament, used to be my guy, but I just don't like him. Xander, most popular bet to finish in the top 20. He received 8% of the bets and 11% of the handle in the top 20 market.
Actually,
It feels
I like
like he
Xander a
is a
lot.
top 20, but
Definitely.
what do you think, Brady? Are you buying in that he's this big lock for top 20, one of the most bet props of the tournament?
I don't mind the play. I think Xander should finish top 20. He's kind of been
5 of
Go ahead.
7 Open championships. Sorry, just for the numbers. 5 of 7, so it's
exactly.
pretty impressive. Yeah.
And that's kind of where he's been hanging around this whole season. He hasn't won. I think he's been behind the 8 ball right out of the gate because he got off to a slow start with the injury, and he's never really been able to catch up and I think get himself back into that form where he has that mentality, that look in his eye, that ability, that form that he did last year when he won 2 majors. Now he's been awful good, had another good week, top 10 finish at the Scottish, but that's just kind of where he's been, that Xander treading water. It's like pre-major champion Xander when all he did was finish top 10 and top 20. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that again.
All right, so Brady, any other matchups you want to share? We'll get to Cam's picks as well. I want to get your takes on Cam's picks. So any other matchups, top 10s, props, exotics, etc., holes in one? Is there going to be a hole in one on this course, guys?
I think there will be a hole in one, by the way. I mentioned all the outrights. Rahm, Hatton, Spieth, Henley, Day, Fox, Hughes, McIntyre. Played Rahm for a top 10. Hatton, Henley, Spieth, and McIntyre for top 20, and then Jason Day, Ryan Fox, and Mac Hughes for top 40. I mentioned the prop bet, Bryson DeChambeau, plus 350 to miss the cut. That number's come down. I've seen it all the way down to plus 250. So I'm not alone in thinking DeChambeau could have a rough week. I don't think it's a course you can overpower. He's going to find himself in the gunch and the smooch and the heather grass and all that stuff. And he's, you can't just bomb the ball around Portrush and expect to dominate the golf course or the field. I think you're going to find yourself in trouble like you did at Oakmont. Head-to-head matchups, I mentioned I like Scheffler over McIlroy at minus 160. I played Russell Henley at plus 120 over Matt Fitzpatrick. I think both of these guys are going to do well, but I thought plus 120 was wrong. That match should be a pick'em, if not Henley the favorite. I think plus 120, I didn't think was the right price there on Henley, so I took him in the underdog role. And then Jordan Spieth, the guy, one of my favorite guys. I'm with you, Gabe. I like him too, just as a fan. Minus 135 over Justin Rose.
Great stuff, Brady Cannon in the house. All right, hang in here, Brady. I want to get your take on Cam's picks. We'll get Brady out of here. Kiev O'Neill's going to step up, and then we'll talk UFC 318. Get you caught up to date with these MLS games. Open Championship, score cut made at over 143 plus 160, exactly 143 plus 187, under 143 plus 162. What do you think of that, Brady?
Well, let me do some math here. The winning score proposition bet here is 12.5 under par for the week. So that's like 271.5. So 271.5 divided by 2.
I don't know, man. You know what, Brady? I'd rather stay away from them just with the weather and stuff. I think that's just as a volatile bet. You don't know what, if things get crazy. I'd play under.
I totally agree with you. I would go under on the overall score. I think they're going to go better than 12.5 under par, maybe 13. And so therefore I'd go under on the cut line as well.
The winning margin, winning a playoff. So go to a playoff is plus 350. There's been a ton of playoffs, but will there be, it seems to happen in the lesser type tournaments more than the majors. One stroke victory plus 210, two stroke victory exactly plus 333. All right, wrap up with Brady on the other side.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, let's roll. Let's see what Cam Stewart has for the Open Championship. Cam, what are your best bets? Who do you have to win the championship?
I didn't bet as many guys as I usually do, Gabe. I got 5-pack for you. I'm going to take Xander Schauffele, defending champion. I like what I saw in Scotland. It's all about the putter with him. Brady and I are both on Ty Hatton. This guy has played one in links tournaments before. Alfred Dunhill links, 33-1 is an incredible price for one of the best golfers in the world. Matt Fitzpatrick, it's a Stewart and Stewart combo. Keith Stewart, Cam Stewart. We had him last week, 4th in the Scottish Open. Just got to hit a few putts. Matt Fitzpatrick plays great up and down specialist. Just don't be too hard on yourself, Matt. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. Now we got Nikolai Højgaard. He's the top first-round leader. I got him to win this thing at 120-1. He's my bomb. And Brian Harman, 150. That's a bit of a reach, but this guy has won an Open Championship. This is what I like. Gabe, on Bet365, they had Scotty Scheffler for a top 10 at minus 130. He hit it, but top 5, he's plus 130. You guys are on Rom, plus 125 for a top 10. No one's talking about Morikawa. I think he's there this week. Plus 150 for a top 20. The Septic Tank. Sepp Straka, plus 180. Ryan, Crazy Like a Fox for a top 20, plus 240. And Christian Bezoutenhout, to me, I think will actually do very well this week. He's plus 160 for a top 40. First round leaders, I'm not going to go through everything else. I got Tom Kim, top Korea. Højgaard, top Dane. First round leaders, Morikawa at 40. Brady and I are on Fleetwood at 45. Russell, don't call me Don Henley. The Boys of Summer at 70. Psychopath, Wyndham Clark, 80. And Poltergeist, Pot Geeter. Go Geeter done, Gabe. Geeter done. 110 for Pot Geeter. Yeehaw!
That's beautiful. You know what I really love there? Christian Bezuidenhout. I agree with you. That guy, he's kind of a sneaky Mackenzie Hughes type pick. That guy,
they got the same game.
Yeah, great short game, and he's played well recently. I would not be surprised if he showed up for sure. Top 40 is a great bet on CBEZ.
I've got a 6-pack of plays this week. Don't often do it, but the last major of the year.
Yeah, 6.
I'm keeping it pretty simple here, so I'm sort of playing a few of the same guys with the picks, but I'm on the Tommy Fleetwood train this week.
Cool.
You know, maybe something breaks through. Like I said, if it's ever going to happen for him, this is a great spot for it to happen. I'd like to be getting better than 24-1, but that's what it is, plus 2,400.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm buying in on the Hatton party as well.
Yeah,
I think Hatton is worth a look here. I got Hatton at 30-1. I like Jordan Spieth a lot too. Can Spieth win?
Yes.
He's going to be right there in the mix. But I got a 65-1 with Spieth right now.
Good number.
That's not a bad number. 65-1. Spieth top 20, plus 210. And my long shot dark horse. So I'm going to jump on your Mackenzie Hughes train here too. But my dark horse here, Cameron Young, 100-1, and Cam Young, top 20, plus 280. So there's a 6-pack of plays for everybody.
Wow, Gabe. He almost won this tournament before when, was that when Cam Smith won there, Brady?
Yes.
When Cam Young was there? You know what? And Cam Young has showed up at the majors. He's been pretty good. He actually plays pretty good links golf, Cam Young. Nice price,
Well, look,
Gabe.
He does.
If I can hit the Spieth at top 20 and Cam Young top 20 at plus 210, plus 280, it'll make up for the play. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely,
I'll put a little bit on the win. But what do you think of the picks here, Brady?
No. First of all, I love the money management. I have the least amount of risk on my outrights. All these other bets, finish positions, head-to-head matchups, that's where I bet more. It's hard to hit an outright. It's one guy for one position. So, no, I definitely like the way you're going there. Love Jordan Spieth for a top 20. Love Tyrrell Hatton. And I'm with you. Cam and I were saying it off air. If one of our picks doesn't win the thing, I'd love it to be Tommy Fleetwood. And then I can also congratulate you on that. So I'm glad you went down that road. But and Mackenzie Hughes, you got to treat that one differently too. 400-1, I literally put $5 on it. It's not, you're not going to break the bank on a 400-1 shot, but I put more on the top 40 finish and some on the first round leader. So, I think there's a way to cash with Mackenzie Hughes because I think he's like Bezuidenhout. I think those guys are good bets for top 40 finish.
All right, here's some of the hustle boost before we get you out of here, Brady. I'll throw them at you rapid fire. We got about a minute and a half or two. First round top 20 finishes, including ties. Xander, Scotty Scheffler, Corey Connors, plus 1880. Is that a sucker trap? What do you think of that one?
I don't mind it. I like Connors. I like Connors and Scheffler probably the best there, but no, I could get there.
Here's the top 20 finish, not first round. Overall, they're doing the Canadian special here. Corey Connors, Taylor Pendrith, plus 1467, both to be in the top 20.
Pendrith worries me. It's his first ever Open Championship, and I think he's getting too much love in the market.
First round top 20 finishes. Justin Rose, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, plus 1728. I'm interested in that one.
time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA. Understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland. Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. Welcome back to the super terrific happy hour as TFC look like the terrific football club tonight as they score early on a penalty kick. They were just awarded a penalty kick and they bury it. So it's 1-0 TFC right now. I'm Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM Channel 159 Sports Grid Radio and Television Network. Quick as 120 minutes of sports talk and television. 1-0 TFC. We're only in the 22nd minute right now. We're on the over, but we're also on San Diego. You wouldn't be able to tell they're losing 1-0. You look at the crowd; they're all fired up in the stadium. But at least we broke the ice there with the goals. 1-0 for the Seattle Sounders over the Rapids in the 37th minute. 1-0 San Jose over FC Dallas in the 23rd minute. 1-0 TFC right now in the 23rd minute. Portland and Salt Lake still scoreless in the 23rd minute. And LA Galaxy and Austin FC scoreless in the 23rd minute. All right, we'll get back to the golf talk, but we got our main man, Kiev O'Neill, ready to step up and here talk some UFC 318. And we've been talking a lot about the football contest, too. Well, good to see you, Kiev. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. But, Gabe, first of all, congratulations, my man. What a fantastic weekend you had. Beautiful wife. Utah in the knot, I might have took the under, but here we are. Congratulations.
You know, well, I'm not 27, so at least there was an age limit. I probably went over the bet-wise. But I appreciate the kind words. It was, like I said, I think I've ruined other people's weddings and weddings receptions before, so no one really ruined mine. And it was one of those, like, there was no incidences. Like sometimes you wake up today, you're like, oh, man, like, yeah, that got out of hand. Or like, so, you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing, really. Like, my biggest regret was, I probably should have walked away from the roulette table. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of staying around. like I was thinking. I sort of have flashbacks. These German dudes were like, follow him. He seems to be hot. And I was like, this is how you do it. You ride the hot hand. Red, black. And then every once in a while I would lose, and I get really mad. They were like, oh, you told us black. I was like, dude, I just won 4 to 5 times. You've been tailing me
exactly.
here. Like,
These guys, I hate that crap. No, sorry, dude.
The guy starts like chirping. I told the guy, don't follow me anymore. I sort of like gave him the brush off. I said, don't tail me anymore. No. I want to play. Yeah, I want to play still. But yeah, no, thank you very much, Kia. But Last night I saw a tweet from Paulie Howard, and he said, shout out to some dude from the East Coast, whatever, John or something, some dude from the East Coast that came here, played the what's the 100K tournament called? It's the $100,000 entry.
The new
It's the Grandissimo. Yeah, that's it. So he paid that. He basically entered every contest as many times as he could. I think the guy dropped like $230,000 in contest entries.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean? Like, was it 15 survivors, went over to the Westgate. He entered, 10 times there. They let him, whatever. Like, he maxed out. And so Paulie was like, shout out to this guy. This guy's hardcore. He maxed out every tournament possible type of deal. And okay, it's cool. And I get it. They want like these big pots in these tournaments, Kiev. I understand that. But I think it should be one entry per person. Like, you know what I mean? Like how can a common dude, you enter the Survivor, how are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
Good point.
Right? Like, he's got 15 ways to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but you're going to fall ass backwards into it. You know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily, man. I'll tell you this. I met a lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year through contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right? And so he's like some guys will put all their entries on just like the team that's playing the Panthers, right? And how well did that work out last time?
I never understand that, actually, when people were like, yeah, I got 8 entries and 5 of them have the Patriots on it. It's like, well, what's the point of having 8 entries and putting them all on? But then you start going crazy.
Because later they want to be able to hedge. Later they want to be able to diversify. Like, dude, I've been running hot for 10 weeks. We got 8 weeks left. Well, it's actually 10 weeks left in Circa Survivor because they do Thanksgiving and Christmas in its own week. So they want to diversify that. Their goal is
that
week
makes
17
that hard,
or 18. You can literally go against yourself week 18, 19, and 20 if you have like 6 entries left.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's their goal. And that's why they're piling up all that money. But I look at it as just more money. I think you're going to get a week where all these favorites lose, and you're going to be the guy that takes the dog, and that's huge because, I've learned from some of the best contest players in Vegas that you can't think about the entry fee and you can't think about the prize. You're playing a game, because if you keep thinking about the prize, you're just picking the biggest favorite that everybody else in the whole world is picking. And guess what? If you win, you split it with 500 people. Is that going to move the needle for you? I don't think so.
I've had years where I've had multiple teams in contests, and I end up doing the same thing we just talked about. It's hard to like more than 5 games in 1 week in the NFL, right? So then I got these teams. I'm like, well, I got the same freaking 4 games on like 2 of these teams and this card and that card. Right. And 1 week blows it all up. And then after that, suddenly you're like, oh, I really should have diversified it a little bit more. Like, really should have. And I get it. That you can win. Listen, we entered a couple of years ago, me and my buddies, we entered and we finished in 8th place in the Westgate in the Super Contest. We had one freaking entry. We had one entry. We really did. But in those days, there was like 1,600 people or 1,400 people, a little bit different. But I also understand the logic of, it's almost like thinking if you spend $1,000 on Powerball tickets, you have a better chance of winning than someone that has 1 ticket. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're still in that 13 million to 1 range, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
The take
like
on
the logic
Powerball
doesn't add up.
More than the take on this, though, because this is literally a positive EV contest because they're not taking a risk.
Well, you've got a shot.
You know, at the end, guys are quitting and dropping out and not even putting their entries in. Believe it or not, this is actually a positive EV contest, and so maximizing your millions isn't such a bad idea.
You do set yourself up for a pretty good hedge too, like on weekly basis, even from a betting perspective, as these contests go on, right? Like the stakes get higher. If you can get, like Bovey made it to like the second to last week last year. And he was heartbroken. He didn't make it to the final week, but he crushed it. And there's so many games where he said, all right, I'm worried about this. So he took the other side of this and that. He really raked it up, actually, from his positional angles. But football contest season is here.
It is. And there's so many strategies. You take a biggest favorite if you have it left, and then the dog hedge is a plus 250, plus 300 bet, right? And so, it builds up, and you still have to cover your hedge every week. So you have to have a plan for it, but there's lots of ways to do it. The best thing to do is sometimes take the Monday night game if you kind of like it, because then all of a sudden a lot of people are out and you really know what you're up against. A lot of times when you're winning those quarterly prizes, you'll do that with Circa Millions, is take the Monday game.
I like the primetime games. People don't seem to like them in the contest. They're scared of the Thursday night games, too, because of the line moves and stuff like that. But they prefer to sit on the line moves. We'll hit this and more on the other side. There's a college football contest this year, too. I would advise, guys, I'm not going to say stay away from it, but it's a hell of a lot harder than college. Like, there's some freaking sharks in those contests in college, I'm telling you.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Let's roll. Level 2 continues. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So TFC's battling tonight. They're up 1-0 on San Diego. They scored on a penalty kick. We'll keep our eye on this. San Diego were pressing, but they just turned the ball over. The Seattle Sounders. We're on the Sounders. And we're also on the over 2.5. Sounders are up 2-0 on the Rapids at halftime right now. Still scoreless Portland and Salt Lake. I'm starting to think that game's going to be a draw. It was plus 275. The Galaxy and Austin FC also still scoreless. San Jose up 1-0 on FC Dallas. All right, UFC 318. New Orleans. Like you said, Kiev, as you know, I've obviously been busy. So this card kind of crept up on me, the fact that it's in New Orleans. First time in a long time I've been down there, but cool way to send Dustin Poirier off. I think he deserves it. Daniel Cormier from the Bayou as well, but Dustin Poirier's always worn, the Bayou on his sleeve type of deal here. And you got a real true warrior type of fight with Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Win, lose, or draw, Poirier says this is it. He's an underdog at plus 110. Holloway is minus 138. What do you think about this BMF fight here?
Dude, this is such an interesting handicap and an interesting card. It's weird to have such a prime pay-per-view 318 with no real titles, right? There's no titles that are being played for, minus the BMF or whatever title, and that's what they're giving the
for people aren't aware, it's called a Badass Mother F. You can figure it out. That's what that title's called.
Yeah, it's just so weird, and everyone's complaining about it. But I call this card the mental problems card. Remember the last one was lightweight. There have been a lot of dudes with these mental issues that stop them from being true contenders. Like Paulo Costa, he was drinking wine before his fight with Izzy, if you remember, man. He's got some mental issues going on. And you also have Brendan Allen that's not there. Definitely Marvin Vettori. The dude is not completely, beer short of a six-pack, right? And then there's another guy here that I'm looking for that's Jimmy Crute. That dude had all the talent in the world, but that guy – something wrong with him that made him stop being a number one contender, himself. So this is just a card full of these guys. But this main event's really cool because that Max Holloway fought Dustin Poirier a couple times and lost. But this is when Poirier was more in his prime. And Max Holloway was always stepping up in weight, right? He was always stepping up to the lightweight class to fight Poirier. Poirier always edged him out. But now you have to ask yourself, Max Holloway, the younger guy, he's definitely got a lot of ring wear on him, but did he kind of fall into his 155 weight? Maybe. He's still 3.5 years younger than Dustin Poirier. But then on the other side, you have to say Dustin Poirier coming off a torn ACL, fighting in his hometown. The guy has beaten Holloway twice. Maybe he just has something for Holloway. Holloway has always struggled against the technical fighters, the boxers, and you've seen him get knocked out by guys like that, including Volkanovski. So it's like maybe Poirier just has his number. It's funny, Max Holloway, you saw that fight against Gaethje, one of the best fights I've ever seen in the last 5 years. He beats Gaethje, and Gaethje just beat Poirier. It's like if you want a A plus B equals C type thing, you think that. But the truth is, man, if you want an edge in this fight, good luck finding it. You'd have to literally be in one of their corners. I have this as pick 'em at minus 110 apiece, and it wouldn't shock me to see either way. But I will tell you, man, if this Poirier number keeps climbing, plus 130, plus 135, I have to take my last shot at DP.
Yeah, it is. It is fascinating. It's going to be a must-watch fight. I've always been a big DP fan. Love Max as well. Total's 4.5. Minus 160 to the over. Under, listen, they're both warriors. Poirier does have the finishing qualities, but you see the odds here heavily shaded to the over. You got to expect that this fight probably does go the distance. I mean, aren't you just expecting? I'm expecting an all-out war here. I'd be surprised if one of them finishes the other guy in the first, second, third round, etc. They've got it at 4.5 though, which means you got to get into the fifth. You got to get into the fifth round at over money. And one thing too, guys, it's almost like the professional wrestling business. Oftentimes, the big time hero will lose the last fight. His last. You know what I mean? He'll go out. You still kind of won. And I almost get that feeling here, Kiev, with DP, that it might sort of be a lot of pressure fighting at home. And just sort of celebratory more so all week. You know what I mean? Than Max Holloway coming in here with revenge on his mind.
I guess, but he's going into his hometown, and that's not an easy feat. And revenge for
Does
what?
that matter in MMA though? Does this hometown
What's
stuff
that?
matter? I'm not sure. I don't know if that hometown stuff matters in MMA.
Yes,
to be honest.
the crowd will matter. It matters a little bit. Yes, it
I
definitely
think it
does.
used to, like in the early days, but I'm not sure it does now.
When it goes to the decision, it matters, and that's why Brendan Allen, you got to be careful with that one too. He's favored, and it's looking like do you want to take Vettori? But if the ref stops this fight, he should be kicked out of the UFC, man. This thing has to go as long as possible.
Oh,
right? I mean,
something you just said, Kiev, though. Me and Lou talk about this, and we bring up like Texas. Texas is shaky as hell, like with their decisions.
Yes.
New Jersey,
Texas
New York, I've always found to be shaky. They're all boxing dudes, and like they're going to do it their way, and you'll get a lot of hometown calls. They haven't been in Louisiana in a while, and like Louisiana is a pretty corrupt place. Let's just call it out for what it is. So like you know what I mean? The bayou and the police and whatever, man. Like you don't tell me that exactly. Like, so I get where you're going with this. Like if this goes to a decision, Holloway is going to be in tough here.
It'd be tough because they do go with the crowd a little bit. It's subconscious when it comes to all sports, and it's just a human factor, man. And you've seen it a million times in football and basketball and everywhere else. It's like, how does this?
I think the judges should be forced to wear headphones, like that noise canceling headphones. Yeah, you can't get influenced by the crowd.
Exactly.
Don't get me started, man. I have a lot of
Dude, it's true, though. I know judges. Like the crowd like cheers on misses, and the judge thinks he got punched and stuff.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. Austin FC just scored. So Austin FC on the board. They're up 1-0 on LA Galaxy right now. Timbers still scoreless with Salt Lake. They're late in the first half. And TFC still leads San Diego 1-0 right now. So not a great start for our late night card. We crushed the early games. Although we are on the Seattle Sounders. They're up 2-0. And we are on the 2.5 over. So it's 2-0 at the half. They're at 1-0 for San Jose over FC Dallas. Right now, we'll get back to the MLS action. let's wrap up the UFC, and we'll get Kiev out of here. So, Kiev, we talked about the main event in New Orleans. Super cool. I was just there, and I enjoyed myself at the Super Bowl. You mentioned Costa. Costa's a plus 200 underdog. Kevin Holland's a big favorite against Daniel Rodriguez, minus 500 to plus 380. A fight that catches my eye, and you know it's going to be entertaining, is Dan Ige. Anytime Dan gets into the cage, it's always fun. I remember when Dan used to be an underdog all the time, and I'd bet on him. Now he's favored. Like, he's a minus 200 favorite here. The total's 2.5, minus 275, but that's going to be in parlays for me, Kiev. I like the over of that fight. You know that fight's going the distance, bro. But what do you Michael Johnson on the card? He's a big underdog. What do you like on the undercard?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good fights here, and I've got a few on the undercard. I do agree. I think Ige is a good parlay piece because Patricio Freire, he's really green for the UFC. He's more of a Bellator guy, right, Pitbull? And once he got into the UFC, he fought Yair Rodriguez, which is actually a really tough fight for your debut here, coming on in after all these years, and, he lost. But at the same time, Ige, you look at strength of schedule, it's not even close, man. I mean, Dan Ige loses his fights, but so what? To Diego Lopez, to Bryce Mitchell, who's an amazing wrestler, right? To Movsar Evloev, Josh Emmett, Korean Zombie. All his losses are to really good guys. Lerone Murphy, who's killing it right now. And then he beats Sean Woodson up. He beat up Feely pretty easy. I think that Patricio is not going to be able to get Ige down. And, hell, I think Ige might even have some ground game over him. And if you just look at the stats here, Ige is going to, touch him up a bit because, Ige is better at hitting, better striker. He's better at defense. He also can defend takedowns. Significant strikes, 3.67 to 2.45, but he absorbs less too, so he doesn't get punched as much. I think that's pretty huge. He actually has a better takedown average. Takedown defense, not so good, but I just don't think this is going to get to the ground, and that's why I like Ige as a parlay pace. But to be honest with you, I'm going to go back to Paulo Costa, and I know I was just ripping on the dude for his mental issues, but man, if there's a fight that this guy's going to win, it's this, because he lost 4 of his last 5.
Want to bet on a guy, you want to bet on a mental guy. It is fighting, right?
yeah, right. Sometimes it's not fight for you.
Well, is that the guy you said who drinks vino before he fights? Hey, a little wine never hurt anybody. Come on now.
He was, but his problem is that those long, lanky fighters that stick and move, he just can't get inside on, or he doesn't try hard enough, right? But, when it comes to Costa, you look at the strength schedule, he had a split decision his last fight with Sean Strickland. It was a really good contest, really. I was biting my nails because I had Strickland in that one. Robert Whitaker, that's a great loss. Marvin Vittori, that's fine. And Israel Adesanya. But, he beat Yoel Romero really well, and Uriah Hall, and some pretty good contenders back in like the late 2000s and 2018, 2019, I'm trying to say right before 2020. And, then he hasn't fought a ton. He's had some problems in 2023. I think he lost a family member or some, but Roman Kopylov, he's okay. But I mean, the guys he beat, Chris Curtis, he's mid, Cesar Almeida, Josh Fremd, and, before that, there was just really no names that you really trust on this, He lost to Fluffy Hernandez, and that's fine. But he did get choked out by Hernandez, The truth is that Costa should have the more power in his punch. Now, I'm not saying that he's a guaranteed win, but should be plus 200. It's one of those fights that you're like, well, if there's a 50-50 fight and you're getting a 66% chance because you're getting plus, 200, you got to take the number. So I took the number on Costa here because he's got to win this fight, man, or it's going to be kaputs for him very shortly. He's got the power. I expect him to win.
Plus 3.5 on the handicap, the spread. Costa plus 3.5, minus 135. Kiev, where can people find you online?
Well, check us out, the Odds Breakers, and if all those contests we talk about, come to the Circa August 21st through the 24th. I'll be there podcasting. We're going to have great events for everybody coming in to sign up for these wonderful football contests.
time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. The pits, the players, the hustlers, the people to bust them. Everybody else in between. FC Dallas have scored 1-1 against the Earthquakes. We're in the 52nd minute. The Sounders game has already gone over the number. I'm telling you guys, the Sounders are really going to get a bounce from that FIFA Club World Cup after they played against PSG, Atletico Madrid, and Botafogo. They went 0-3, but they look good in all the games. I know it sounds cliche, but they deserve better. And they've been killing it in MLS since they've come back. They got 7 of a possible 9 points. They're going to win this game. We've already been paid for the win. Now, wow, Colorado just scored 3-1. So that's a track meet, up to 4 goals there. And we got Ian Cameron stepping up in a minute. We'll get back to some open golf picks. But we got the best of X here. We got a couple of best of X's here. If we can go, let's go with the Connor McDavid sighting, actually. Tonight. Let's get this up and running. So the great Connor McDavid takes the ice at a beer league game in Newmarket, Ontario tonight. And stuff like this will just lead to speculation, too, that he's going to play in Toronto. So not only was Connor McDavid there, but Leon Draisaitl was there as well, actually, in Newmarket. And I was thinking, man, these poor bastards on the other team here, you got to deal with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in a beer league game. But they're all going to be fired up. But we can report that the score after one period of play was 4-0 for not Connor and Leon's team. They were actually losing 4-0 after the first period of play. And there was more videos coming from the arena. And I noticed the videos just stopped. Like, once it got put up, because people are like, man, he can't even win there. They're losing 4-0 in a beer league game now. And Twitter started blowing up. And I think it was someone from TSN that was in the arena that was posting this stuff. And I'm sure, like, when they, it's a beer league. So after the first period, when they're all sitting there in the room, I'm sure somebody said, hey, Connor, you're getting lit up on Twitter. We're beating you 4-0. Ha, ha, ha.
Exactly.
And he's probably thinking, like, I can't even play a beer league game without you guys, like, saying what the score is. Like, and trust me, he's not trying, because if Connor McDavid wanted to, he can start taking people's heads off. You know what I mean? He's sort of skating half speed out there. But it goes to show the it goes to show like what it's like being a player in a Canadian market, like when you're Connor McDavid. And like if he was playing on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, he could be playing in a beer league in Vegas right now. Like Vince Neil could be like shooting cocaine off the bench with needles with the Vegas Golden Knight players right now at a beer league game. We wouldn't know about it, right? Because no one would talk about it. Like nobody would report it. But, Connor McDavid's playing in a beer league game and he's losing 4-0, and then he starts getting ripped online. He's thinking, all right, no cameras. I guarantee you, like, that's why, because I wanted to get the score after. Because once I saw they were down 4-0, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to follow this throughout the evening and see what the score ends up in this game. But they shut down the updates of the scores.
Well,
so
Gabe,
there it
things
is.
like that, why do you even show up? You bring up a great point. You try to do something fun and nice or whatever. It just turns out to be a gong show. It's like, you know what? I don't need this crap, Just want to go out and hang out, meet some people or whatever. But that's the world we're living in today. Can't even enjoy it.
Well, holy crap, I was talking about the Seattle Sounders 3-2 now.
Yeah, 3-2 now.
Rapids.
How's the over?
The Rapids just scored again in the 53rd minute, but one of these deals, like the baseball game last night, we've already been paid. If your team gets up by 2 goals in soccer, you get paid. They were up by 3, so we've already been paid. We had the over. They just scored on a penalty kick right now. And let's go to the other best of X, and Babano will like this one. As this is pretty cool. They had a CFL video game in the past before, but it sucked. Now look at this. This is the modern CFL. Very, very slick looking. And for the record, that's in the new college football game that everybody's raving about. There's a cheat code in the college football NCAA game where you can play CFL. And it looks awesome, actually. I don't have a gaming unit, but I might get one just because of that CFL game. And I'll play Babano online and kick his ass. He could be the Ticats, and I'll be the BC Lions.
He could be the Ticats.
Damn,
be the Red Blacks. Yeah, exactly.
I'll be throwing bombs, baby. I'll be throwing bombs.
Yeah, Ticats. Hot.
How are you, Gabe? Congratulations, belated. And I'll tell you what, this tells you all you need to know about Morency and the dedication to his craft. No honeymoon week for Gabe. He's back in the saddle doing what he does.
Yeah, not only no honeymoon, appreciate it, but not only no honeymoon, I'm hitting the road. I'm leaving. I'm going to play with Homicide on the road in a couple of days. It's like Homer Simpson when he became the manager of Laureline Lumpkin, and then he was in the band with the a cappella. And he said, "Don't worry, honey, I'll be back after our tour of Sweden." Yeah, the B Sharps. Yeah. He goes, "Oh, we'll be back after our tour of Sweden."
Sweden. The B Sharps. That was amazing.
B Sharps in Sweden.
What a band.
Yeah, the B Sharps. But we appreciate it, Babano. But yeah, back to the grind. And I thought you were going to say our dedication. We put the CFL on at the reception, actually. We put the game on one of the screens, albeit with no sound.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was the Hamilton Ottawa game that I had the over of that didn't get there.
Yeah,
but we did cash with the Red Blacks as underdogs. You were at that football game, Babano. I really didn't see it. Like I had it on. I kept sort of popping up and looking at the score because I had the over and I had the Red Blacks plus the points. But why didn't that game go over on Saturday night? What kept that game under the number?
Well, Hamilton's offense was not great. They were out of sync from the beginning. And I think the positive for the Ticats, you guys, is they did not play their A game. They're not close, especially on offense. And they still found a way to grind through and win that game, especially late. They made the plays. They finally got into the end zone late. Bo Levi Mitchell moved the team. And let's give credit to the Ticat defense. You know, it was a defense that was terrible last year. And they were awesome in the fourth quarter. They got after Drew Brown. The pass rush got there. And Ottawa, guys, I don't know, you might have probably seen this too, Cam, watching it. Their offensive line still has a ton of problems, Ottawa. They have had a real hard time protecting Drew Brown. And the pass rush got home for Hamilton. There was not much run game to speak of. So Ottawa's still got some issues along that offensive line, and it's showing up in these games. I think the poor O-line play, Gabe, to answer your question, for Ottawa is a big part, too, in why that game stayed
Ottawa's
under.
Got a lot of problems, Gabe, and I hate to say it. I know Dice is a nice guy, but if they lose, he's going to be canned pretty soon, I would think.
I'm going back I'm going back to the over. I lost with the over this past week. I got to believe there's going to be some points this time around. Ottawa season is on the line.
Red Blacks games in Ottawa have been higher scoring over the years than the games in Hamilton.
Yeah, I think last week, like you said, it was one of those anomalies. Like Hamilton wasn't in sync. They've been playing so well over the last couple of weeks. But on the positive side, from their perspective, is they were able to win football games without playing their best. But this is absolutely positively a must win for the Ottawa Red Blacks. People could get fired, but the fans have been pretty positive, and I know they got that Grey Cup, but that was a while ago. And in the CFL, it's a battle. You know what I mean? You got fans that go, but people don't want to go to see a football team if they're 1-9 and stuff like that. So the Red Blacks gotta start winning a couple of games. Tomorrow night, it's hard to believe it's Thursday already. Tomorrow night, the Argonauts now up to 10 points against the Montreal Alouettes. Total is 50. You willing to lay 10 points with the Alouettes, Babano?
Well, I laid 4.5, and I was willing to lay maybe even 6.5, 7. 10.5's getting up there, but I think I would still consider, honestly, laying the points because you got Davis Alexander back. He's undefeated. Toronto's got a world of hurt defensively. I don't know if Nick Arbuckle can keep up. And Montreal beat him 28-10 earlier this year in Montreal as well.
I'm going to I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm probably going to be on the Argos plus the points here.
Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last two majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland. Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Shout out to my guy Kyle in Toronto, giving the final score update. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl lose 6-2. Final score 6-2 in Newmarket. I don't know what the over/under of this game was, and I don't know how much money was exchanged in the room. I got to believe that there's drinks on the line, but they're actually doing interviews with the players after now. This is too good. They're doing interviews. The guys are interviewing. What was it like to beat Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl 6-2? These guys they could be Florida Panthers.
If any
if I was
dummy out there
McDavid
thinks that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl gave it 110% tonight, that's the biggest bunch of nonsense you'll ever hear. Come on.
And no, they definitely laid back here, but the other team is good. I guarantee you, like beer league, they're being a little bit loose here. There were a bunch of actually people in the crowd. I'd like to see who was on the other team actually, which I'm sure we'll find out. It's hockey summer season now. I was just in Cologne over the weekend, and they got a hockey fest coming up August 23rd there, which I would go to, but I was just there, which is pretty cool. They got, I don't know, is it like Corey Perry, Shea Weber, I think Evander Kane. Seems like a lot of tough guys, actually. It's like basically a lot of tough guys. And NHL, I think Steve Stamkos, whatever, like a ton of NHL alum. The NHL Player Association alumni, etc. They got a golf tournament. They're playing street hockey outside the arena where the Kelowna Rockets play. Fans are going to play against them, and they got like an interactive sort of hockey village set up for everybody. And so, like I said, it's that time of the year right now, all over the place on golf courses where there's drunk hockey players teeing off. The golf course I got married at, the girl told me. She goes, Mike Smith, the goalie, just had a retirement party here the other day. I said, anything eventful happen? She goes, nah, the only thing that really happened, she goes, Shea Weber, like, drilled a drive, like, three fairways, like, into another, like, basically part of the golf course. And he nearly hit someone, didn't say four, and like split after.
Sounds like a Happy Gilmore type of guy.
Guy hits a 380 the other way. See ya.
Yeah, like he smoked it. She goes, he smoked it. Yeah, there was like old people ducking and stuff, and he was like, I'm leaving. And he drove off on the cart after.
That's amazing.
I guess he plays there off. She goes, nah, but he's cool. He's here all the time. But like a very beautiful golf course. All right, so speaking of golf, we get back to the golf picks. But so the CFL point spread up to 10 tomorrow, total 51. Davis Alexander and Austin Mack will be back. Friday night, we talked about this game last night. You got a double revenge spot here coming up. You got a big revenge spot, bye week and revenge spot for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're laying 3.5 to the Stamps. Rough Riders are now underdogs with their injuries to a BC Lion team that the Rough Riders always beat. The total's 52.5. The Lions are now 2.5-point favorites, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats are 1.5-point favorites on the road. What are your best bets, Babano?
I would say right now, best bet for me is that over in Saskatchewan, BC on Saturday night, because I think Trevor Harris and the Riders off probably their worst game offensively of the season against, a Calgary defense that's playing a lot better this year. And this multiple games now, Calgary's defense has played well, beating Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. I think Saskatchewan's offense can bounce back with Harris at the controls. I don't know. The BC defense, we'll see. I know they played well the last 2 weeks, but you faced Edmonton and you faced McLeod Bethel Thompson. So I think the BC defense, Saskatchewan can move the ball. Nathan Rourke's looked good and better and better. He looked even better last week after returning against Montreal. Saskatchewan, we mentioned the injuries. They have a few in the secondary. I think they might all play, but will they all be at 100% is the question. But BC, I think, can move the ball. I like what I'm seeing from Rourke in that offense. So I like the over in that game. That's probably my best bet. I'm kind of with you, Gabe, on the Winnipeg game. If Calgary goes into Winnipeg and beats them, I'll give them all the credit. But this is now 3 weeks in a row where they played Winnipeg at home, Saskatchewan on the road. The game got pushed to Saturday, and now you're going to Winnipeg, short week, third game in a row in 3 weeks, and a big game again against a team that you beat down 2 weeks ago. And Winnipeg's rested off a bye. They're 43-6. That's right, 43-6 at home since 2019. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they're only laying 3. I'm petrified to fade this Calgary team. That's how good they've played, but I think I have to here. In this spot, with the number being what it is, I could only back the Bombers there. I would go
Cam, what's your pick for the Argos and the Montreal Alouettes tomorrow? Point spread is now 10, total 51.
I understand your point, Gabe, and that's the whole thing. It's getting a little ridiculous. God, I wish I had a 4.5 Babano. I don't know where that is, but Davis Alexander is a huge upgrade from Macbeth. The guy, Macbeth, he's awful. Let's just call it out for what it is, man. He's slow. Davis Alexander could beat you with his arm and feet. Montreal, they're going to be in a bad mood after losing a couple really close games, as we talked about, Gabe. So I'm seeing about a 16-point win for Montreal, but as Morency mentioned, when that spread gets to 10.5, 11, the back door could be swinging open, but I'll still take my chances with Montreal. I think they're going to put a lot of points up on a beat-up Argos team.
If you think the number's
should
too
be
high,
points.
by the way, you could take Toronto team total under. The team total for Toronto is 20.5. They only scored 10 with Nick Arbuckle at Montreal back in week 1. So I could sign off on that. Argos team total under 20.5.
Yeah, that was week 1 though. Right. That, you know, I mean, the Arbuckle is slinging it around. They're putting up a ton of
He
points.
does sling it.
The Argos. They just put up 38 points against Hamilton a couple of weeks. Like, they lose, but I would go over to 20.5. I don't think the Alouette defense has hit a wall. Teams have figured it out. Just get rid of the ball quickly, and you can move the ball against the Alouettes. Listen, I think the Alouettes will put up points with Davis Alexander. The question is, how many times do they settle for field goals? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the Alouettes won 37-23 type of thing, 37-21. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it was like, 36-20 with 2 minutes left, and Toronto score a backdoor touchdown, and next thing you know, it's 36-27 final score. Right, like I said, with that 10 points, teasers. Like I said, teasers really could be alive. I don't like middling teasers, but you get the Alouettes down to -3 to the over 44, or the Argos up to +17 to over 44. I don't think that's a bad look either. All right, the golf is going to be starting pretty soon. We'll hit the golf best bets on the other side.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. I think at best he's a reserve player, but again, that's at best for the next few seasons. I don't think he has a 7 to 10 year NBA career.
Most kids are like, hey, Dad, play another year in the NBA, understanding that, like, hey, we get Dad home and it's fun to watch him on TV. But this kid is actually like, Dad, please play so I can play.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, you didn't do great in the last 2 majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The second half has begun in beautiful San Diego. Crowd is still fired up. Their home team's not getting them a lot to cheer for. TFC still lead 1-0, but we're early in the second half right now. 49th minute, and San Diego are pressing right now, actually. They seem to have a little bit more energy here in the second half. Major League Baseball returns on Friday. We got some good series. Boston and Chicago is going to be a fun one. At Wrigley, Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs. We got this MLS soccer going on here this evening, wrapping up, and we got the Open Championship teeing off in the overnight hours. Quick check, Austin FC up 1-0 on the Galaxy in the 49th minute. Timbers and Salt Lake still scoreless, 57th minute. TFC up 1-0 on San Diego, 50th minute. 1-1 San Jose and Dallas in the 51st, and the Sounders are hanging on to that 3-2 lead in the 72nd minute right now. I think that San Diego will score. I think this game's still going to get there over 2.5. It's plus 110 right now, San Diego and TFC. So over 2.5 plus 110, I still think has a legitimate chance of hitting. All right, so I gave a 6-pack earlier. Tommy Fleetwood to win the tournament at 24-1. Hatton to win the tournament at 30-1. Spieth to win the tournament at 65-1. Spieth top 20, ties included, plus 210. And Cam Young to win the tournament at 100-1. And Cam Young, top 20, ties included, plus 280. There's a 6-pack, and I'll jump on the Mackenzie Hughes train just because I'll hate myself if I don't hit this at like 450-1 or whatever the hell it is. Cam, what do you got? First round leaders and your best bets.
By the way, Gabe, there's a bet boost on Fleetwood. It's only it's 25-1, I think, too, so you can get an extra point there. I got Xander, defending champ, 25-1. I like Ty Hatton this week at 33-1. He's a great links player. Fitzpatrick, not Ryan Fitzpatrick. I was going to say Matt Fitzpatrick. Think about Ryan, football season, 55-1. He was 4th in Scotland last week. Nikolai Højgaard is on fire, playing great golf, 120-1. And Brian Harmon's won an Open Championship. Hopefully he can get it around here at 150-1. First round leaders I'll give you guys because we have a lot of fun. Babano likes Mackenzie Hughes. He's 125-1, a notorious great starter. But who do I got for you in the first round? I got Morikawa at 40. Tommy Fleetwood, Gabe, so hopefully a good start at 45. Russell Henley loves Thursday, 70-1. Wyndham Clark, don't invite him over to your house. He'll smash it up in your TV, but 80-1 for a good starter. And the Poltergeist, Potgieter, 110-1, first round leaders. Let's roll.
Jordan Spieth, 66-1 first round leader. I got to sprinkle. I'm going to play my guys that I like to win. I'm going to take Cameron Young, first round leader, 80-1. Jordan Spieth, first round leader, 66-1. But we talked about Justin Rose earlier, Cam, and I'm not going to take Rose to win, but I got to throw a dart on Justin Rose to be first round leader.
Good call.
55-1.
He's been first round leader. Remember, we had him at the Masters for first round leader. And Gabe brings up a great point, guys. Cameron Young has been a first round leader in a few big tournaments. So Gabe, I have to add him to my list. I think he's 80-1. I'm playing Cameron Young, first round leader as well. And I know you like him in the tournament. Great starter.
Babano, do you have any open bets here?
Yeah, Ty Hatton, 30-1. Fitzpatrick, 40-1. Keegan Bradley, 90. Tom McKibben, 100-1.
From Northern
Harris
Ireland.
English, 100-1. Jordan Smith, 150-1, courtesy of the golf guy. And you mentioned first round leaders. I'll throw out a couple that he recommended. Hughes is one of them at 125-1. Ryan Fox, 75-1 as a first round leader look. Jordan Smith, who I mentioned, 100-1. And he also likes Cam Young as a first round leader in the 80-1 range.
I'm going to wrap it up with one real sort of, I would call it the drunken Brit dart toss pick of the night, but let's call it the red wines, the Sauvignon pick. Matthew Pavon. Yeah, I'm going to go with Matt. You know what? I don't know. 170-1 can to be the first round leader. Give me Matthew Pavon to be the first round leader at 170-1.
You know what? It
just jumps off the screen to me.
Yes, it does.
Jumps
and it's
off
a great
screen.
wine. It is a great, tasty wine at a
He's too good to be getting
price.
that number at 170.
Justin Rose,
you know
first
French
round
guys,
leader as well. I
French
missed that
guys,
one.
Perez and Pavon have been first, around top 5 first round leaders each way at Morency. This guy's actually, that's nuts. He should be 60-1 for first round leader. I love that pick. Now we got to play it.
Yeah. You know what? 170-1. Figure the guy's European too. He's got to be good at links. 170-1. Let's roll.